How to make new plants out of the plant I already have, Philodendron edition. My name is Maria. I am the owner of Planted Souls and a plant consultant, and I am here to show you how to propagate your philodendron. We'll start off, just grabbing this guy here, with this big mother Philodendron Brazil. This guy is really long, trailing. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. What you want to look for is a long vine, ideally, with a few leaves on it where we can make a cut in between the leaves. So I'm going to show you exactly where you're going to want to cut your plant. If these leaves cooperate, then let me show you. Okay, there we go. I think we got it. Okay, so ideally you want to cut in between two leaves. So I would cut here, 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 here. You can really cut it as long or as short as you want it. Here, here. You could cut here, but I wouldn't cut here yet just because this leaf hasn't opened, so the plant's gonna have nothing to photosynthesize from. So I would cut, let's see, here. That way we still have some vine left on the mother plant, some leaves left for the cutting to photosynthesize. And then I'll show you the reason why we're cutting here after we make the cut. Whoop. Put this guy here. Okay, so let's make the snip right in between the two leaves. Okay, so we've got our cutting. We've got our mother plant. She will be okay. The piece that we just took the cutting from, wherever it went, it's going to keep growing. A new leaf will come. The vine will continue. We're not hurting the plant. We're actually encouraging it to grow some more. The plant's going to think that it is hurt, it is dying, and it is going to push more growth in order to stay alive. So it's a good way to get healthier, bushier plants, fuller, bushier plants. We'll put this her back. Okay. So why did we cut where we cut? The reason you want to cut in between two leaves where we did is because the place where the leaves come out of, that's where the roots will come and form. You can kind of see here we already have some aerial roots growing. That's a bonus. Not always that way. We have some here as well. And then you can see the nodes here and the little roots. So these lines where the leaves come out of, that's where your nodes are. When you hear the term nodes and when talking about propagation, that's what we're talking about. So now that we have this here, this is the part we want to keep in water. When we put it in the tube, in the shot glass, wherever it's going, that's the part we want to keep in water. So for example, let's take a look here at this cutting that we've already had in water. We'll replace it. Look at these roots. We'll talk about this guy soon. But here, you can remove the bottom leaf, or you can leave it. Let's see if it fits. Oh, nope, it didn't fit. Removed itself. That's okay. We're all good because we still have leaves on the cutting left. Okay, so we're gonna stick that in water. Make sure that the node and the aerial roots are in water. This is where the roots are going to form in a few weeks. Depending on the time of the year, it can take 4 weeks to even months. Sometimes it happens very slowly, sometimes it happens very quickly. I would say the more sun, the faster it happens, less sun, the more time it takes. So we'll set this guy aside. Eventually, it will look like this. And we will have a whole new plant, a whole new cutting. So here, as you can see, where the bottom leaf came from, that's where the roots came out of, right? So that's exactly what we did with the other one. This is just kind of proof so that you can see and envision the line from where the leaf is where the roots will come out of. Once you have about 2 inches of roots, then you can take it out of the water and pot it in soil. This guy's got a little more, that's all good. Extra roots never hurts. So once your cutting looks like this, you're going to want to pot it in some soil. I would go with a nursery pot that's not too big, not too small. I think this is pretty adequate to the amount of roots that we've got. I'll put some regular potting soil in here, and then for the first week or so, I like to keep the soil moist. Gotta fly. I like to keep the soil moist just because it helps make the transition easier for the plant. We're taking it out of water, being in a little tube with water, being grown in water, so we don't want to harshly transition it to dry soil. So I'm going to put the soil in, water the soil, make sure that the soil stays moist for the first week or so, and then I'm going to slowly start transitioning the soil to what we want to have a philodendron in, which is soil that dries out about halfway before we water it again. So the first week it's going to stay moist, just to help it transition from the water. And then I'm going to start slowly letting it dry out more and more and more until I get to the half dry mark, which is what philodendrons are happy in. And that's it. You've made your new plant. Now you can see here, there's a new little leaf coming on. So this guy's just going to keep growing. One stem. If you want to make it bushier, just take more cuttings and propagate more cuttings. As you've seen, we haven't hurt the mother plant. The plant's going to keep growing. The cutting's going to keep growing, right? So just if you want a bushier one, take more cuttings, put them all together, and you've got yourself a bushy plant. If you just want to take it easy and start slow, you can start off with one cutting and get one long vine going. And it's that simple. You've gone from one mother plant to two plants. Yay, you! And then eventually, once this one's long enough, you can take cuttings out of this one and you can just kind of submerge yourself in philodendrons. And this isn't only for philodendrons, this is for a lot of different plants. Pothos, philodendrons, monsteras, rubber trees. There's a lot of plants that you can propagate this way. Sansevieria snake plants, cacti, succulents, they're a little different. I'll cover that in another video. But yeah, it's really not that scary. It's not as scary as people make it seem. And if it doesn't work out, then oh well, you've lost a cutting. But like I said, your big plant's going to keep growing. It's going to thrive. You're not hurting it in any other ways. So if it doesn't work out once, don't be afraid to try again. That's it for the propagations. If you want to learn more tips about plants, click here.